Welcome to your daily dose. My name is Robert. I'm here today with my pal Matthew. I've had the good fortune of meeting and seeing his fantastic play, What I Didn't Say. And Matthew is a person with Parkinson's, diagnosed, if I'm not mistaken, what, 5 years ago? Is that correct?
2019. Yep.
Okay. So, Matthew, you are also a professor, retired at this point, 23 years with theater background in that regard. And you wrote this play, my understanding is, out of trying to figure out what am I going to do with this PD and this life, as it were. Is that right?
Yeah, my symptoms were becoming more noticeable, and that doesn't work out very well for Shakespeare in the Park. Not every not every play has a character with Parkinson's, and so I came face to face with like, I got to do something, or my career as an actor, might be over, and I didn't want that to happen. And so I thought, I'm going to create my own work. I'm going to create a play that I can be in no matter what my symptoms are.
So here's the thing. Fascinating, number one, that you did that, and similar to what Michael J. Fox, I think, did at some point when he started playing some roles later, and he doesn't doing as many anymore, but started yes-anding basically his symptoms, saying, "Yep, it's part of who I am," and it gives you the, like you said, the freedom to say, if anything happens, that's part of what's going on. um, but this isn't just you. And that's what I wanted to kind of dial into here, that you interviewed others to make this more than Matthew's story, to make this more of a universal understanding story, certainly within Parkinson's, but I would argue it goes beyond that for anybody who's dealing with a life-changing chronic illness, at least, and maybe life-changing anything. Talk to me about your process and why you chose to, as I say, mythologize yourself. Because, yeah, there's pieces of you in here, but you interviewed a bunch of other people to make up the character of Paul.
Yeah, this was my first play. I am not a playwright, as far as my history goes. But I had the idea that if I interviewed people, I might find, useful tools and bits of dialogue and who knows what. So I underwent that review and interviewed a lot of people, had great results. With their permission, in some cases, I actually put the transcript into the play exactly as it was. I'm like, I can't write anything better than this. I mean, this is compelling stuff because this is real people dealing with real issues. And so, yeah, of course, my own pieces in there. And it's funny to me because it was a cathartic process for sure. Like, what am I dealing with? What am I struggling with? What is my reaction to people and things and the disease? And I gave my permission to be darker in life than what I might normally do. Profanity, for example,
Yeah.
might be a thing where I don't use a lot of profanity, but I'm, you know, F Parkinson's. that's kind of where I'm with this disease. So yeah.
What's the value of leaning into other people's stories? What did you learn from that? And again, that's what helped create Paul as an extension of yourself.
Well, it's good to remember there's a bigger diversity of people's reactions and ideas than just mine. There are people who, you know, they're not going to get any help. They're not going to see a doctor. They're never going to go to an exercise class, blah, 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 on and on and on. So I like the fact that the play incorporates multiple viewpoints, which I think is the benefit of the interviews. So it's not just mine. It's not just my perspective. And there are certainly things in the play that I would not do or I would do, and others wouldn't. So
Do people come up to you after the play concerned, like, "Hey, look, I heard you saying this," and you have to go, "That was a character."
all the time, all the time. This Paul in the play decides not to go to an exercise class. People are very concerned about, you have to exercise, Matthew. Like, this is Paul. Paul's not Matthew. I exercise all the time. So that's exactly what happens at the end. And even though I make a point of saying in the introduction before it begins, this is not based on my life, right? So still people come up again.
Well, here's the thing. Part of it is a compliment to you. I've seen the play live, at least a portion of it, and it's a testament to both yours and Krista's acting that it's incredibly immersive, and you do believe the people you're seeing up there are real people going through real things right in front of you. So it's a compliment to your craft, number one. But number two, the value of, like you said, you compassionately feeling this of other people, something that isn't necessarily your story, and allowing others to recognize, hey, there's more to this than perhaps we're giving our understanding to, that's a big deal. And again, to me, I think it's one of the reasons the play works so well.
Yeah, yeah. Again, different perspectives, different ways of thinking about things, that I think that's just critical to the play. People, they're not just hearing my part, but multiple directions and ideas, and that's what makes it work. People, again, I think because it's based on real people and real situations, things that really happen to people, that strengthens the play. So it's not my imagination of like, well, if I had a different perspective, I might think this. No, with the interviews, like that person thought that that really happened. So I think that's a
Yeah.
big benefit.
Well, they thought it and you yes-anded it. So again, you co-created with these people. And like you said, sometimes grabbing absolute, here's what they said, fresh off
Yep.
the press, right? And breathed it into a new life. There's another element to this that, if you don't mind, I'm gonna cut this one and come back for a second episode. I want to talk to you about not being a writer and writing anyway. Can we do that? Can we come back for one more?
Absolutely. Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
We'll see you on the next dose.
Okay.